Hello guys and welcome back to Tom Talks. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And today we're going to be talking about the debut album from Notion, Outsider. So, Notion is a UK based producer and one of the best at it. He's dropped bangers like Money and Drugs, Vex, Burning, Real, Hooked, and Put It On Me, and so many more. I'd be here all day if I was naming all these bangers. But he's come together with this quite short project. It's only just over 20 minutes long. And we got a bit of everything here. We got a bit of 140, we got a bit of garage, a bit of house. So this is a bit more of an experimental project from him. But yeah, let's go straight into it. The first track was the lead single, Found Love, featuring Carrie Baxter. It's got these pulsating keys and this throbbing kick drums which really gets you into the track. It's got this infectious 140 production which matches well with Baxter's silky and seductive vocals. It's a dance floor jam as well, which is what you want, and not surprisingly it was one of my favourite tracks of 2021. It's good. It just really hits that sweet spot of what you want for a jam on the dance floor. Cherry was another single, although this is a bit of a throwback. It sounds like something out of the 90s, maybe the early 2000s. It's called D&B jungle aesthetic to it. The laid-back vocals match well. It's about going on a night out. Very chilled drum and bass production sort of fits that. It's a nice throwback, and it's aesthetically very pleasing as well. 1997, it reminded me quite a lot of Gypsy Woman by Crystal Waters, and I kind of think that's what it was going for with the, again, a throwback 90s sound, but this time of the more house variety. It's a deep house, relaxed kind of cut, whirring and the vocal samples and the of like the keys. It's nice, it's cool, and it's the first track that wasn't a single, and I like what I hear. On It featuring Snowy was another single. It's got more of a laid-back two-step garage beat. It's quite dreary and melancholic sounding with a bit of psychedelia feel in there as well, which I think matches well with Snowy's flow, and he sounds good, he matches the vibe well. It's not one of my favourites on the project, but I think it matches the aesthetic well. It's not something I'm going to return to a lot, but I think it's a nice change of pace. And again, it shows off Notion's production skills, and Snowy sounds good too. Lights features Charlotte X, who featured on the last Distinct track, Control. And I will say, this does really sound like a Distinct track with like the skittering drums and the 140 BPM sound, but it's good. Charlotte sounds good. She fits this sort of chilled vibe, especially when her vocals are distorted. That sort of fits in again with those skittering drums. I wouldn't say it's plagiarism, but it really could have been a Distinct track for me. But again, Notion's experimenting here. He's trying to do something a little different, so I will advocate for him doing tracks of this style. Maybe make it a bit more him next time. And, you know, these sounds he's orchestrating and the things he's doing here, they're not stuff he's probably used to. So a lot of these are not his first attempts, but he's not as comfortable in this area as he is in, like, the UK bass sound. So I'm not going to hate on him. I think it's still a decent track. Jack and Play was another single. This has got a bit more of a modern drum and bass sound. It sounds like somebody's played like a metal drum kit. It's very metallic. There's that bass in there that really grabs your attention. It makes you want to get your gun fingers out and just go ham on the dance floor. What I like about this one is it feels like Notion's own take on D&B. It feels like a Notion track, but it feels like he's just experimenting with another genre here. It's just a banger, and it was a great single, and it's great on this project too. Circles features Paige Eliza, who's collaborated with Brucey, Flavor D, Mikey B, Sammy Verge, anyone who's anyone in the current scene. Vocally, she sounds good. She sounds sensational, in fact. I think she fits well on this very housey 140 vibe. It's more chilled. It kind of feels like a sequel to Found Love, but more of a typical dance floor jam. I'd say it's my favourite of the new tunes. I really like the vibe of it. It's enthralling, it's encapturing, it just slaps. And we end this project off with Danger, which I've heard in a few mixes, so while it's new on the Spotify, it's not new to me. It's that UK bass sound, the whirring and the whoops building up, and then this pulsating electronic bass line just comes at you like a ton of bricks, and it just gets you up off your feet, makes you want to go to a rave or a dance and just get your groove on. It's a stone cold banger. It's more in the bass house lane, like Notion is more known for his sort of bass line tracks, but it feels more bass housey, which is cool. Again, it's a little bit different to what we usually expect from Notion, and it closes this project off well. Overall, I really enjoyed this project. I thought it was a lot of different vibes, which is cool. It's quite short, but I'm fine with that because we've got a lot of new vibes and sounds from Notion. My only qualm, well, besides what I've mentioned, there's a few tracks on here which I don't love, but again, Notion can improve on that. My real qualm is that half of these tracks I'd already heard as singles. I mean, if you haven't heard this project before, then that's not going to be a problem for you. It's 8 absolute banging tracks of different sounds. But I would have liked it if we'd only heard maybe 1 or 2 tracks. And then, obviously, DJs tease their tracks in sets all the time, so that would have been cool. But, you know, it is what it is. It's not a major issue here. It's just, I think it would have made me appreciate the project maybe a little bit more if I'd only heard maybe 1 or 2 tracks. Overall, I do quite enjoy this project quite a bit. I think it's very good. I think it's a good collective of sounds, and I think Notion's done pretty well here overall. There's no bad tracks on here. There's a few missteps where I'm sure he'll learn, I'm sure he'll improve. Also see producers go out of their comfort zone and do something a bit different. And I kind of wish I went to one of the Outsider shows. I think they're done now, which is a shame. But such is life, eh? I'm going to give this project a 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I think you should check it out too. If you're a fan of just dance music in general, really. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Notion's Outsider. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, this has been another TomTalks.